Hi everybody, season 4, episode 2. Welcome here, the Joie de Vivre.
The joy of living. It's a phrase that I remember even years ago, before this whole France concept was even a thing. I remember, I think when our kids were little actually, and we're thinking I should write a book for young moms that's called the Joie de Vivre. Because sometimes when you're in the middle of a lot of hard things, you have to find the little crumbs along the way that can give you joy in life every day.
Yeah, and if there's anyone that understands the joie de vivre, the joy of living, it's the French. There's so many things they do well. The 2-hour lunch.
Lunches, they take time to eat, they take time to hang out.
Yep, smelling the flowers. And that's good for us because we're both a little bit ambitious. I think this one even more than me. This one judges a day based on how much got knocked off the to-do list. And that it's not the number of flowers smelled. It's not that.
Oh, come on.
Well, okay, all right, but this year we're doing better, and so we want to show you a couple things. It was a great week, got lots of stuff done. We'll show you lots of work, but also some of the fun stuff. Now, some of you may recall, if you've watched our Christmas videos, that the first year, 2 years ago, I tried to go 25 days in a row on $100 and successfully did it. It wasn't actually that hard. Lots of potatoes. There's cheap food in the world. Then one of our board members said, he goes, "This is crazy." He's like, "How about this? I'll sponsor you guys to go out to some restaurants," since it was Leslie and me. It wasn't just me. And so this last Christmas, we had so much fun going to different restaurants. And I got to be honest, I felt guilty. Like, I'm a Mennonite, upbringing, and we're careful with money and we're cheap. And so usually we're really careful with money. And so going out to eat a lot was out of our box, but really, really fun. Like, we had a ton of fun with it. And some of you probably saw those videos too. We saw some amazing stuff. And of course, people like to see France. Oh, look at that, beautiful sunset. And so, I was talking to him before this trip, and he was actually saying, "Hey, why don't you keep doing this once in a while, and we'll sponsor you to do it." And it's super generous. And so I thought about it, and I was like, oh, the problem is, like, some of you guys, if you're watching the videos and you don't know us, you might think, oh, these guys are like rich kids and they're like spoiled and they're just always like eating out and stuff like that. And so, and not that there's anything wrong with being well-to-do and being able to eat out, but it's not normally who we are. And we're trying to, especially we're running a nonprofit, and again, we don't get paid. But look at this, Mr. Bubs, he's running up. Where's he going? He's going to chase. Oh, he's chasing some. So we're running a nonprofit, so we don't take a salary, and we're trying to be careful with the money. But it's also super fun. And so we thought, what about a compromise? What if we go out once a week and we'll try to go to some good places? He said, go to some good places because people will enjoy seeing those. And of course, we'll enjoy eating them too. And it was nice. He goes, take out some of your neighbors, take out some folks. And so we'll try to do that once in a while too. And how about once a week, we'll try to eat out, and we'll put it on the video just in case you enjoy it. So I hope you're not going to think we're spoiled. I guess we are a little bit. It's awfully nice. We're going to have some fun, and we hope that you'll have fun too with us. All right, so today's restaurant. Okay, we believe we have an amuse-bouche. We're not completely sure if it's a garnish or an amuse-bouche. But we'll find out. We believe it's a shrimp puree. It's some type of fish puree. Very interesting.
We have some black garlic puree. We have some shrimp, yeah, and then some lamb's lettuce. And then there's some little yuzu pearls down here. Right down there, do you see those little pearls of yuzu, which is like a Japanese citrus?
And he was very nice. He said, "No, to make it perfect, you have to eat it all together."
Yes, a little bit of it.
Very helpful. One entree.
So our main course, our plat, is poultry. It's delightful with chanterelle mushrooms and a lovely little teal, with a side of a whipped potato parmesan with poulet chicken jus on a waffle. Rob has
potatoes gratin.
Oui.
Cheese potatoes and some salmon.
So we saw this dessert on the wall. The chef of this restaurant won Top Chef 2019 in France. And we thought, I bet this is a dessert that they're known for, so we'll give it a go. Oh, it is soft.
It's called an apple, but it's chocolate with stuff inside.
So it looks like a mousse with an apple compote inside. We'll try it.
And to end the meal, kind of a tough morning this morning. When we did this bathroom, the wallpaper just went so well. It was nice and thick. You know, it sat on there pretty flat, no bumps, or I mean, not many. There's, you know, it's not perfect, but it's an old house. And so we went into the London bathroom and thought, should be the same. You know, should go well. You know, and I was kind of feeling optimistic. So we approached it the same way. We used the same, you know, methods to go off the wallpaper. But what I didn't account for is just how bad the wall is. And so even when we were able to, you know, lay it well, there were still huge imperfections. And so that was our fault. It's my fault. I should have spent more time, you know, sanding and filling. And so we're gonna try to get it fixed now, and we're gonna have to, unfortunately, buy some more wallpaper, and we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board. We're also gonna do one more thing differently. We tried to do it with the ladder last time, and this wallpaper is a little wider than the one we used last time. So it was really hard to get over there and clean it out. So we're gonna set up the scaffolding so we can move around a little better. And hopefully we can get that set up in here. I think it looks like it's gonna fit. But yeah, tricky. We've actually had a couple of setbacks in the last 24 hours. We came back from church and this window was wide open. It's super cold out too. And it had blown completely open, and as it blew open, it just cracked a pane. So that's not completely unusual in this place, but we'll need to replace that. We had one more setback this morning. It's one of those 3 steps back, no steps forward days, but hopefully we'll get some steps forward later today. So I was gonna take this guy off, which we did now, but before I took it off, I wanted to try to see if I fixed it. I tightened this little guy here to see if that would stop the leak. It did not. But we filled it up with water, and I pressurized the system, turned on the pumps, turned on the burner, and the burner would not stay lit. So we got a burner malfunction. I think we're gonna need to call the guy, unfortunately, to fix the chaudière. So that'll be $100. That's life. Super windy today. You can hear all the shingles moving. Disturbing thought for sure. So lunchtime, time for some crepes, and I went and got our stuff, and sitting on top of the fridge, I went and got the lifter. I almost should have done a warning, eh? Look at that, that's, yeah. So again, maybe humidity, mold, it's just sitting there, nothing happening, but wow. All right, so that was actually only a couple hours, and I don't know if you can see it, but I haven't sanded yet, but it is so much smoother. Like the holes are gone. So, you know, that's gonna help. Well, it'll be half a day at least for that stuff to dry before we can sand it. So time to work on the toilet. Now, if you remember, this thing works. It's upside down, so hopefully you can figure it out. It's like you're looking at it from the top. You know, you got this big long handle, the cord, and that hangs down. That hangs down over here. Like normally it would hang that way if we're looking from the top. And essentially, no, that's not true at all. It hangs there. And then basically when you pull it, it lifts this thing, and there's a big weight that plugs this. But we got the problem that this here doesn't seal. So I'm trying to find out how to do that. Now my first attempt was to try to find some kind of gasket that would sit on the bottom of that weight and seal, but it's not working. And so suddenly I had the thought, like, what if we could literally just put in one of these new ones? Like if we could find a small enough one that would sit in there and just change out the whole mechanism, and then it's a modern plug. I don't know, we'll see, I'll give it a go. All right, I kind of think this is gonna work. This guy is a couple millimeters too big, but we can just trim off some of that red and it will sit in there. Now another problem it's quite a bit wider, this thing. So I'm going to try to take this plastic piece out and see how big the metal is. Hopefully it fits. If not, I might have to cut down the metal. Could not for the life of me get this thing off, and so I decided I was trying to use wrenches and vice grips and channel lock pliers and all kinds of different things. Finally, just decided to use a, let's see if I can find it. Oh, I don't even know if I can find it. Just a hammer and like a wood chisel. And I said, you know what, we're gonna break it because we can't use this thing if it doesn't work. So here we go.
So much to my joy, the place where I go get the dog food is in a nursery. And guess what is behind me? These lemon trees are incredible. I cannot wait at some point to get some of these. Be still my soul. One of these days, we will be getting one of these. How great are they? Even little ones. Oh my goodness.
Beginning of March, and it's colder than normal. It's been going below zero. It's been going below zero in the mornings, and so the house is cold. But the nice thing about March, as opposed to December, is that at least the sun gets up earlier. Like the sun's up before 8 and stays up. We're getting close to 7 at night, so a little more time to work, and it's just so much more cheery when the sun comes out. Big day, here we go. All right, we're up here in the linen bathroom having a good morning. You know, if there's one thing all the experts will agree on, and by the way, in case you haven't figured it out, I am no expert. So don't watch these videos for like, you know, figuring out how to do like renovation projects. I'm learning. I'm watching YouTube and I'm learning stuff. But there's one thing that all the experts say is that you cannot take shortcuts when it comes to preparation. And so I tried to take a shortcut, and you know the result. And so now we're going back and we're doing it right. We've ordered more wallpaper, a little bit more. It's a $200 lesson, $250 lesson. And I've gone across and we filled all of it, and now we're going through and we're sanding it. You can see it. And we're trying to knock all the big right ridges off. Remember, then we're gonna put a liner on it. So the liner will cover some of the really small imperfections, like that stuff over there. And then wallpaper over that. So it's gonna take longer than I thought, you know. It's how it always goes. But if we get the wallpaper up this week, I think that would be a win. Right now we got yeah, so stay with us. Okay, we got her all sanded. I'm looking a little dirty. Hair's looking a little grayer than normal. And the floor too is, we'll get this all swept up. So we got our handy dandy shop back, and we'll get that thing going. This is kind of funny too. Last time I had this pair of glasses. I couldn't find them. I left them somewhere in the chateau, and I looked everywhere. Finally, I go to put on my pants today, my work. These are my tiling pants. You know, they're really bad. And I look in the pocket, and sure enough, there's my glasses. So a little bit of a win for the day. Yeah, that looks pretty good. A lot flatter for sure. And I got light shining right up it too. So with the backing paper, I think we're gonna be all right. Next up, it's time to prime the walls. Since we put so much filler in, we need to put a little bit of primer over it. Otherwise, apparently, it might activate the glue, or it might just give us a bad bond. Apparently, if it's not sealed, the filler will suck up all the moisture, and then we have problems. So here we go. We'll give it a little quick paint, let it dry, and then we can start putting the backing paper on. All right, here we are at the large Home Depot store, that Walk Macklin, and just thought I'd show you what kind of stuff we have to buy on a typical week. So we got some Sucouche, that's some primer. It's a big, huge jar, €70. Paint's expensive, my friends. 2 things of what is that called for the hedges?
Fertilizer.
Fertilizer, yeah, since we had the worms. So those are about $10 each. This is for putting up wallpaper. We have a leaky valve for a toilet. This is the problem that was leaking up in the attic, and the air siphoner. So we got that. $5 here. That's only 10 bucks. $5 to clean, to make a hole bigger in the toilet. $16 for paint tape. We won't buy much of that. Here's our toilet pipe, the old one, and we're gonna have to use an adapter to make it work. So about 20 bucks of stuff there. And then you need a good blade when you're doing wallpaper. So lots of stuff. Of course, we also had to buy the windows for the windows that broke. About $50 in windows, and these are $5, these little sawhorses. So we're gonna try to set up a bit of a station for wallpaper. So there it is, 300 bucks. I don't enjoy spending money, but when you have a chateau, there's lots of stuff to fix. Oh, here's my gamble, and we have to take this back. $20, one of these weed trimmer things. I'm gonna see if it'll fit on the steel. Mixed reviews on the internet to see if it does. And now normally I wouldn't use this for grass, but we have all that gravel with weeds, and I just think that like fairly loose weeds sitting on gravel would be a really good application for this wire brush. We'll see. I've tried a few things, may not work, but you gotta try. What's up, pretty girl over here? Do you want to be on the
All right now.
And this pretty lady here is frustrated with brushes. What's going on, Les?
Here,
What's
I
going
found
on?
this for you.
Thank you.
That's a new one.
Another blade is always good.
So the rollers in France are a little different than at home.
Yeah, aren't they?
They really are.
Smaller.
Smaller, and even when you find them, you know, at home, these are sort of filled in, and then you pop them on, and it kind of keeps it on. These ones, they come separately like this, and you can buy them all in one, like we did with this one, and it fits great. But then you buy replacements for the cages and the rollers, and then they just fall off.
And you need that little metal thing. Now this thing has a metal thing on it, doesn't it? Let's see.
This doesn't.
No, can I see the one that's on?
It has a little,
yeah,
like a.
that's what we need. The
like
little
an
guy
anchor.
holding it on, yeah.
Oh, I wonder if it is an anchor.
Yeah, yeah, we gotta find more of those.
We have some of those.
We'll get them.
I don't know.
Work to do.
Yeah.
Leslie is getting back to the priming today, but of course, right where she wants to prime, there's a little tiny bat. So we've opened up the windows. He's not gonna like it out here, it's too bright. But really, Mr. Bat, this is not your best place. And I'm not gonna hurt him. But I am gonna try to get him out of the room. So here goes. And I hope he does not get mad and attack me, because I can understand if you would. Okay, Mr. Bat, here we go. Let's go. Yeah, make a little noise. He moved. I thought maybe the noise would be enough. I'll try making some more noise. Let's go, Bat. Oh, come on, Mr. Bat. I don't want to hit you. I certainly don't want you to hit me. Okay, here we go. Might have to take a break in the video. I had to touch him with the shovel, and then he grabbed onto the shovel, and I put him outside. And I hope he's okay. Oh, he doesn't look super okay. Sorry, little guy. Well, hopefully he gets up when it's dark and gets out of here.
Sometimes when you're tired of priming and you've got a good chunk done, it's just time to get in there with some paint and start bringing color to life again. This is very hard to do with the left hand. We'll wait and see how it goes.
Paint, it makes such a huge difference, eh? What's going on the top?
It's a stencil.
Ooh, can't wait to see it. Trim looks good too.
Well, we'll get there.
No, it's always so nice to be back. And it's so nice when we get the sun out. It's chilly. It's a chilly week, which is too bad because, well, it's nice to be warm, but at least when the sun comes out, that whole side of the house warms up. And we can walk around a little bit. Mr. Bub's having a great run. Did notice one more thing. We have a falling tree. Now. It's in a good spot. You hate to see any time you have a falling tree. You see that guy on the angle right in the middle there? Yeah, he's falling down. We'll go take a look at it. Okay, thank you, Lord. Leslie was cold, really cold. And so we were able to get that replacement air siphon. Looks just like one of these, by the way. Super cool. It just like siphons off the air so that there's no bubbles in there. And I installed that, only 10 bucks, so great deal. And then that was problem number one. We filled up the system to about 2 bars, and then problem number 2 is this thing wouldn't start the other day. And so I had to find the reset button, and I was looking all over for it, and I'm like, reset button here, Found that little secret panel. And then I remember, I think it was down low, and it's sneaky. It's right there. Yeah, it's right there. So hit that thing. And big thank you to God, it started and it's running. So no big bills. We're gonna try to, I can even heat up the house a little bit if we want to. And honestly, that oil's getting pretty old. Maybe we should burn some of it and warm up the house. You know, I sometimes joke that there's no off position on the cheap switch or on the frugal switch. So it's hard for me to spend money to heat up a Chateau, but gotta get rid of the oil and we've got to buy some new oil probably. I don't know how long that stuff lasts. Some of it's probably 2 years old. So anyways, here we go. Back to work.
So this is our palette for the gardener's suite. It's 2 bedrooms. The blue and the cream are gonna go in the other room as a stencil, kind of a floral. Then the clotted cream will go on the major trim and the ceiling, at least in the boys' room. This taupe is gonna be trim in the boys' room, and the cream and the taupe together are gonna be the door trims. This darker stone terrace is going to be the stencil color on top of clotted cream for the stencil in the boys' room, and the greenish gray, which is kind of a dark pine green, is going to be the bottom section of where we are for the boys' room. Now I've got started on that already, and it's drying. Clearly there's bumps and wiggles from the past because it's just an old wall, as you can see up here as well. But at some point I'd love to put in some paneling, but you know what? Right now, there's little pieces of trim. We'll have to replace some in certain places. Clearly there's no baseboard yet. But you know, I think it's gonna be good in general, and I think we are on our way to enjoying this pretty little blue and green and taupe palette.
No shortcuts, no shortcuts. I wanted to take the shortcuts. There it is, filled, sanded, primed, and now we got paper on it. Now the paper is, I mean, it's really gonna help us, I think. You can still see that it's not like a pristine surface. There's still little bumps, but it's gonna hold great. There's nothing gonna be flaking off, because sometimes what would happen is the flakes would come off, and then when the flake comes off, it makes a new bump. So it's not just a hole. So anyways, making progress, but the paper will take about a day, I think. So could be worse. Paper's on the wall. And now it's time to start putting up our first wallpaper. Fingers crossed, prayers up. Leslie's gonna stand on this low one, and I'm gonna stand on the tall one. And with 2 people, hopefully we'll get the wallpaper up correctly. And hopefully the marriage will be preserved. Prayers up. Beautiful. Beautiful, and the wallpaper's good too. It's working. It went on perfectly. The 2 people helped, the booking helped.
Of course.
The lining helped, the sanding helped.
Because that's how you do it.
So much better.
It's not very sticky down here.
What a difference preparation makes. That is pretty good considering how bad the walls are. And take a look. Remember the first one we tried? Yeah, straight up. Really, it was that bad. And there's 100 reasons for it, but oh man, definitely do your preparation. In the last video, we talked about how we could try to introduce more joy into the work, and I think we've been doing pretty good this week. Finishing work before dinner and just having a nice leisurely dinner each night, which has been great. And just kind of trying to dial back the stress. Like, we're gonna work hard, we're gonna try to get stuff done, but ultimately you don't control things. This is a good example. I just walked down the lane. By the way, that's a lovely path that goes to the tennis court. And I walked down the lane bringing the garbage, which is, you know, a few minutes of a job. Got to the end and realized I had the wrong key. So, you know what? It's gonna take 10 more minutes, but we'll get her done and we'll get the garbage out and the world will go on. Besides, Mr. Bingley really enjoys the extra time spent walking. Well, it's a little painful ripping that off. It's about $30 a sheet. So Leslie says she'll be able to reuse some of it, perhaps to line the inside of shelves and things like that. But still, you hate to waste money, but that was just too ugly of a job compared to how beautifully the new stuff that was properly done. That really went on well. So that's gonna be good. Gonna be good. A little bit of cleanup to do too. So this room already starting to look better. Leslie's got some preliminary colors on the wall. And remember, we had a big hunk of the piece of the wall coming off here. So this is actually the third time we put some drywall in there, and this is actually the third coat of fill. It was really pretty bad hole, so it's getting better. We'll sand it again, and then probably one more coat of drywall mud, and then hopefully we'll be flat enough to paint and get going. These walls are a little tricky. Like, they're different than we're used to. Like, it's not drywall, so you got nice stone here, but a lot of times, you know, you can hear that the plaster's kind of coming off the wall a bit. So, you know, best case someday you rip it all out and redo it, or honestly even drywall, but you have to consider the moisture too. You want the moisture to be able to get out, so you can't seal it. It's tricky. It's a different deal.
I know we talk about this a lot. However, this is a very typical day. I get in the mail one of these little things, which basically says you have a package that didn't fit in your mailbox, so you have to come get it. Which I think is probably my stencil for the basement, because it's quite large. It's like 3 feet by 4 feet. And so I get it, and I'm like, great. It's a bummer they didn't get it in the mailbox, but that's fine. I'll go get it, because it's just really close. So I get here, and then they say, oh, no. It says it's here, but it's not yet here. It probably now won't be until Monday, because today is Saturday. So, you know, I was all ready to paint, all ready to go, and then you have to get ready to get out. That's how it goes. And so we continue the day. Hopefully we can still get some stuff done. It's a place across the street that if it's open, I'm going to pop over and see if they have any advice on how to get our whole driveway rock area scraped or cleaned out. So, you know, or maybe we can rent the tractor. I don't know. We'll see.
Probably the most useful skill in owning a chateau is window replacement, because they break all the time, it seems. Somebody leaves it unlatched and the wind takes a window and it smashes open and breaks. A lot of the glass is old and fragile. Unfortunately, Leroy Merlin only had 5mm glass, so this is gonna be really thick, but hopefully it's not too heavy for the window. We'll see, it'll be strong. Got my safety gloves on, ready to go. Sometimes it's the little things, like having all the windows working again. It was not that big of a deal, one broken window, but it's just so beautiful when they're all clear and visible. You know, I gotta say, I think we're making progress on our Joy. Our quest for Joy, I think we're making good progress. We've been not working as hard, you know, we're not working in the evenings, we're taking the solid day off. And I'm trying to take an hour for lunch. You know, it's not the 2-hour French lunch, but it's at least an hour. And, you know, today I did some mowing. That brings me joy for sure. And it's been super fun. Of course, Mr. Bingley loves the Joy. His big thing is, and we'll see if he does it, when a car goes by, he decides to chase it. And so he takes off from here and he tries to angle the car off. Of course, he can never catch it because they rip right across the back there. Maybe we'll see it here. So it's Saturday night, and as part of our Joie de Vivre, we're going out tonight. We're going out in the town.
Well, sort of. We got invited by one of the neighbors to come over for what they call aperitif, which is basically hors d'oeuvres, appetizers, that kind of thing. And they're going to do a concert. He is a jazz concert pianist.
Yeah, and it's a small concert. Should be a ton of fun. It's labeled Concert by the Fire, I think, something like that. And we're really quite looking forward to it. So maybe we'll get some shots in here.
was beautiful. The music was so soothing, and the candlelight. What'd you think, Bess?
Yeah, the ambiance was fantastic. They have this charming cottage house in the French countryside. They had only candlelight on with their roaring fire by the piano with a group of people that came for a lovely piano concert.
Yeah, John and Marion, just a beautiful night, and met lots of nice people too. It's a beautiful end to the week.
So thanks for watching. We appreciate you popping in and being a part of our adventures for the day, or the week, I guess.
We'll be back next week with episode 3.